So I was walking on a very sunny day with my friend behind me. Suddenly, a thief came and stabbed me. Oh, that was painful. When I woke up, I found myself at the hospital in an operation theater. Doctors, nurses, surgeons, those surgical instruments, those medical instruments, that oral anesthesia. Oh my gosh. Well, after a few days I recovered though. But the first words that were spinning in my head were medicine and surgical instruments. Well, what to do? I explored, I asked people, I asked myself also, who invented medicine? Who invented these surgical instruments? Well, some people said me, what they said, they said maybe Isaac Newton. Wow. He introduced gravity, man. How can he invent this medicine? And Einstein and many other people, different answers by different people though. But then I asked myself, aren't there any Muslim doctors who contributed to the field of medicine? Aren't there any Muslim doctors or Muslim scientists who contributed to the field of medicine? I asked this question to myself. And oh yeah, I explored a lot and I got my answers. Now you people say me, do you know any Muslim doctor, any Muslim scientist who contributed to the field of medicine? Do you people know or not? Anyone? Someone? Maybe some doctors? Well, let me ask you, do you know Ibn Sina? Do you know Abbas al-Zahrawi? Do you know Ibn al-Haytham? Do you know Ibn al-Nafis? Do you know Abu Shal al-Maishi? These were the Muslim doctors and Muslim scientists who contributed to the field of medicine. They were the ones who worked in ophthalmology, urology, general medicine, gynecology and obstetrics. They introduced this. They were the persons who contributed in this field and we people don't know them. Do you know Ibn Sina? He is one of my favorite. Personally, I like him very much for some reason. Well, Ibn Sina was considered as a prince of physicians. What? Prince of physicians. He was considered as a prince of physicians. He was the first person who described the anatomy of human eye. He was the first person who asserted that tuberculosis was contagious. He was the first person who described 130 eye diseases. He was the first person to describe the idea of oral anesthesia. Wow. And then, you want me to say more, right? Well, Abbas al-Zahrawi. Abbas al-Zahrawi, well, who actually invented the surgical instruments? Anyone? Abbas al-Zahrawi, he is considered as the father of modern surgery. Why, Because this guy he spent a span life of 50 years. How many? He spent his 50 years in discovering surgical instruments. He was a person who described around 200 surgical instruments. That's amazing. Now, all of you, raise up your hands if you know who discovered pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary blood circulation. Well, Ibn al-Nafis was a person who first discovered pulmonary circulation. Then you go to Ibn al-Haytham. Ibn al-Haytham, he was a person who proved that vision happens when light rays pass from objects towards your eye and not from the eye towards the object. As taught by the Greeks. Greeks thought that when light goes from your eye towards the object, they were mistaken somehow. Well, then you have Muhammad ibn Zakaria. Muhammad ibn Zakaria, he was a urologist. He focused on problems like venereal diseases, abscess and renal stones, renal abscess and urinary and bladder stones. Then you go to Ibn al-Haytham, who wrote optical thesaurus. Then you have Abu Shal al-Maishi, who proved that absorption takes place more in the intestine than in the stomach. What else do you want? These Muslim doctors, these Muslim scientists contributed a lot to the medicine. Well, now, in ophthalmology, words such as retina and cataract are taken from Arabic origin. We people don't know that. These words were taken from Arabic origin, okay? And 1,000 years ago, Islamic medicine was the most advanced medicine in the world. 1,000 years ago, Islamic medicine was the most advanced in the world. How and why? Why was it advanced? Anyone? Because the Muslim that time had the urge to serve the society. They had the urge for the welfare of the Muslim. They had the urge to contribute to the society. They had that urge. They had that strong desire. Why don't we have that urge? Prove it, say it, show it that you people have that urge. That's what urge is. Thank you. Well, you can do it in any way you like.
No problem.
Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this session. I hope you learned so much from this. This was a program for contribution of Muslims, and that's how it is. So